If you grew up watching Fast and Furious, especially Tokyo Drift, you would be very familiar with something like this. In Tokyo Drift, there was a 350Z. This one's a 370Z, which is even better. And it's done up looking like a track monster. Let's see what's going on with this car. Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of MDTV. Here we've got Azura, the owner of this beautiful 370Z. First of all, how you doing, Azura?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you have and how it all started off?
Well, as you can see, it's a Nissan 370Z, otherwise known as a Fair Lady Z as well. A good number of years ago, I was looking for a sports car, performance car. And at the time, yeah, I was tossing up between like a Civic Type R or a Megane RS. And one night I saw a 370 white in a full Amuse body kit, and I thought that looked quite good. That wasn't under consideration, and I did some research and thought it was actually, for what you get for the money, it was quite a good bargain. Took one for a test drive, and yeah.
Just fell in love.
Yeah. I went to a couple of dealerships. The experience was quite bad actually from Nissan. So I bought one off the second-hand market, less than 1 year old. Saved a bit of money there, and yeah, within half a year I started modifying it.
All right. You've done a pretty good job modifying it. Let's go through the mods list, bro.
Sure.
Where do you want to start?
Well, walk around the exterior. By the way, all the parts are genuine. I don't buy replicas or copies. Yeah. So the rear's by a Japanese company called Abflug. I quite like the vents. Yeah. So it releases built-up pressure at the back.
All right, so they're real vents. I can see right through them, bro. That's so cool.
I didn't buy all the parts at once. It took me a few years to find what I liked, where it all worked together as well. The wing is Ing's wing as well, rear wing, real carbon fiber, and it's got adjustable angle of attack as well. Yeah, so I can tailor the downforce or whatever I like.
Yeah.
At the moment, as it is, I've got too much rear downforce.
Right.
Yeah. So at basically triple-digit speeds, the front develops a bit of lift.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, because the back is squatting so much.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting.
I'm working with a couple of garages to do a front splitter to balance out the aerodynamics.
You know, you would know that because you took this to the track with that setup, right?
Yes, that's right, yeah. I've replaced all the suspension arms with SPL, so they're pretty much the best on the market with regards to suspension arms. And I've done the essential mods like your diff bushings, transmission mounts, so those are all replaced. In the future, I plan to change the LSD as well to a proper OS Giken one. So at the moment, I've replaced the OEM clutch with the OS Giken twin plate. Really grippy. It's hard to slip actually, but for track work is really good.
With the upgraded clutch, did you really need it, or was it just...
My hand was forced because these cars, particularly the early ones, they had an issue with the clutch slave cylinder. So mine came up after a few years. The clutch pedal just went to the floor and it wouldn't come up.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I had to crack open the bell housing for the transmission, and I bought a kit aftermarket where they moved the cylinder to external. So it was easy to access if anything goes wrong. Since then, nothing's gone wrong. And while we had the transmission open, I thought,
you may as
well.
The
clutch,
yeah, that's the worst game that everyone plays. You may as well.
And here we are.
What about your sway bars and end links? Are they upgraded?
So yeah, the sway bars are White Line, Australian company, and they were also one of the first mods I did. Yeah.
How does the car feel now compared to when you first got it? Would you say that it's worth all the changes, or you're enjoying it much more?
It's yes and no. I'll start with no first. No, because when I first bought it, where it was mostly unmodified, I would drive it every day because it's a new car, right? And I would just
take it everywhere.
Yeah, take it everywhere. You know, do the Royal National Park. I did that.
The obligatory Royal National.
Just everywhere.
Yeah.
It felt super comfortable. Actually, it was a bit too soft, and I wanted more. So now that I've done so many modifications, the performance potential is much greater, but at the same time, I'm more careful as well. if that makes sense. And so from that angle, I'm not enjoying it as much as from before. But give me a nice road with twisties and not many other cars, then I would say this obviously is a better version than from the original.
Yeah, and probably definitely a better car on the track as well, hey?
Oh, totally, yeah.
Which track do you normally go to?
Before it was mostly Wakefield. Now they're doing a remodel, so they'll open again next year. The only closest one would be your Sydney Motorsport Park. I haven't gone there this year, and it's because of my aerodynamics. It's a bit unbalanced.
Right, is it that bad?
Yeah, it doesn't inspire confidence.
Right,
So,
okay.
down the main straight, yeah, I wouldn't want to take this at the moment. Yeah, corners are fine, but yeah, the main straight. So that's why I'm putting priority to do the front splitter, get some proper front downforce, then I would tackle it, yeah.
That's quite interesting, man, because most people with wings, like me, we never feel the effect of our wing, bro.
It's probably because of the angle of attack, yeah.
Yeah, and like even when I go on track, like I'm not going anywhere fast enough for me to feel the effects of the wing. So that's very interesting to hear, like a real world, kind of application to, not just all show.
No, it's not.
Yeah, what else have you got at the back? I noticed that the exhaust has got burnt tips.
Yes,
titanium tips.
so the exhaust system was sourced from the US a good number of years ago by a company called Lightspeed Racing. So they work with exotic parts like titanium and carbon fiber.
Yeah.
They no longer make exhausts. They specialize in wheels now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a full titanium system.
And it sounds sick, man. Just hearing you come in, it sounds so
thanks.
good. Going around, dude, I love your wheel and suspension setup. Tell us about that.
All right, so the wheels are work wheels Kiwamis. I had them painted this special gloss bronze.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, so it's
colour.
a custom one, and the reason is because there was one day, it was a rainy day, poor vision, and I rashed the rims quite severely.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was quite painful.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there was an opportunity to get it fixed and get a different color.
And what about the wheel specs? They look like they're so wide because the
Yeah, so
concave is
these are
massive.
OEM specs,
Right.
which are 19-inch, 10.5-inch wide at the rear,
Yeah.
and 9.5-inch at the front.
Right. Oh, so meaty,
Yeah.
man. And you've
Yeah.
got Pilot Sport 4S on there.
Yes.
Super grippy, hey?
Yes, they are, yeah. They're sitting on MCA REDZED coilovers, and it's stiff but holds the chassis quite well without being uncomfortable either on the road. So it's a good compromise, yeah.
And you've also got the air cuffs that lift it up instantaneously.
Yeah, so being
hey?
so low, the air cups do help with entry and steep driveways and
Yep.
speed humps. Yeah, it's basically essential with this sort of ride height, yeah.
If you were to take this on like a long trip, how would you rate the MCA Reds?
On some twisty roads, they're really, really good, like totally excellent. And as I said, they're surprisingly comfortable because MCA, they work with you. And that's what I liked about this, which is an Australian company as well.
Yeah.
So I approached them and mentioned that I do track the car, but it's not a full-time race car. So I do use it on the road.
Yeah.
So they worked with me to find a compromise where it was suitable for both applications. Yeah.
Yeah, and they tailor-made, all the settings and everything
That's
to
right,
your
yes.
taste as well, hey?
So the side, we've got Varis side skirts, and the front fenders are from a company called Carbon Signal in Dubai.
In Dubai?
Yes.
Wow, Mr. Worldwide here with your Z, man.
Yes.
This bonnet, did it come in full carbon and you had it painted or like...
Yes, originally it was a gloss carbon finish.
Yeah.
But then I was getting too much attention for that, and
right.
I decided to have a full a red look. So I had it painted.
I
in
think
red.
the color match hood suits it more than the exposed carbon, man. Nothing else on the car looks stock, like even the fenders, hey?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is aftermarket. The lights, obviously aftermarket as well.
And
then
the
we
front bumper, that looks so menacing, man.
So this front bar, a lot of people ask me. It's by another Japanese company called Weber Sports. It's, in my opinion, one of the better looking front bars. There's like dozens for the 370, and yeah, I think I was one of the first ones to order it in Australia, if not the first. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely the first one I've seen with that bumper, and it suits it so well in the red, man.
Yes.
What about like performance mods? I mean, you've got some track mods like the MCA suspension.
Yes.
What about?
So performance, well, we're standing at the front, so I've got some short ram intakes, which also give a nicer induction roar as well. I've got a Motordyne intake manifold, allows more air into the engine. I haven't opened the engine or done anything yet. That's probably a few years down the track when I've got everything else sorted. That will be one of the last things I'll do, because I find it's got enough power for what I do. I mean, how much power can you use? I'm not into the drag strip or anything, mainly circuit work. It's got Fujitsubo headers, high flow cats, and the rest of the way catback is, as I said before, the full titanium system.
And do you plan on staying naturally aspirated, or do you plan on like forced induction?
At this point, I do plan on staying naturally aspirated. I like the throttle response and the sound that it makes.
And like you said, 370Z is a V6 engine, plenty of power for most tracks that you go to around Sydney anyway, hey?
Yeah. A few years ago, I dynoed it. It made, I believe it was 234 kilowatts at the rear wheels.
What?
And that's not tuned, just with the breather mods, the intakes, the exhaust.
Let's have a look at the inside, because I noticed that you've got some really interesting seats and stuff, man. All right, so inside, man, it looks like you've done so much to it.
It's actually not that much.
Really?
Yeah, like there's these bucket seats from Brid. I haven't seen any.
Dude, they look so freaking good, man.
Yeah, I quite like the look of these ones.
Yeah, and how does it feel?
It's good. It holds you in, and I put some extra padding to just make it a bit more comfortable.
Right. Oh, so these paddings here.
Yeah. But they are also quite low as well, so it takes some getting used to. And obviously these racing harnesses as well. When doing track work, they really hold you into the seat, which is good. This is a short shifter by a company called Cooler Works. The stock throw of the gear stick is already relatively short, but I found that for how I shift, I wanted something just slightly more mechanical and shorter, and this really works well for how I shift.
And the center console, or like where that screen is,
that
doesn't look stock at all, man.
No,
it
definitely isn't, but it looks like it could have come from or as a factory option.
Yeah, it fits like a glove.
Yeah, I bought that a year ago and I installed it myself. The wiring was quite a bit of a mess, but it works out quite well.
I love the touches that you've done inside the car. It looks like a great car to be driving on track.
It does feel special, yes.
The seating position, the floor's here. The seats are right there, dude. Do you have trouble seeing over the steering wheel?
For my height, actually, surprisingly, I'm okay. I suspect, for anyone shorter, it would be a bit of a struggle. Yeah.
I'll do some B-rolls and we'll go for a drive, hey? Dude, your car sounds so good, even on the inside, man.
This is the only sound
The only sound that you know of.
Yeah. That's right.
Woo! Dude, that sounds so cool. I've not been in a 370Z, so I don't know what it sounds like. But the engine's got like a nice little purr to it.
Yeah.
Whoa, dude, it's so smooth. What do you like most about the driving experience of this car?
Oh, just the response.
Yeah,
the handling response.
Yeah.
After all the mods done, it's really solid. It's like razor sharp. It's really nice.
Yeah. And it seems like even when you get on it, it's very linear.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Right. And the suspension, even though you said they're like MCA Reds, which are like track focused, the suspension's very smooth.
Yes,
and
they are.
Quite compliant, hey?
Yep.
Damn, dog! I feel all the stiffness in the chassis and all the mods that you've done to it.
Yep.
The seats that you've got are pretty nice. And how's the steering and everything? Is it heavy?
There's a slight heaviness, but in a good way. Power steering is still hydraulic, which is good for
spirited drive.
Feedback.
Yeah. Far out, dude.
Short burst.
Yep, short pull. Dude, the brakes are pretty good as well.
These are OEM 4-pot front, 2-pot rear. I just upgraded the pad. No need for the rotors, just the pads.
Just the pads?
It's a really common mistake people make. They upgrade the rotors without understanding the requirements of their braking. Yeah, upgrade the pads to the Project Mu, the HC.
I heard they are really good.
HC 800. Yeah. Good for track and street.
I don't know. I think I'd be pretty comfortable driving this every day, man.
Yeah.
Except for the load, like the height and having.
When I wasn't this low, I did daily it to Balmain because I had a job there. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I must say, in traffic, the clutch is too grippy. It's
right.
just really annoying. But otherwise, yeah, you can.
That's the end of the episode. What a sick 370Z. So much work, meticulous work, a lot of money, a lot of time. Thank you, Azura, for coming out to show us his car. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you follow Azura on Instagram as well. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next episode.